Welcome back to the Milestone Moment, where we take top producing agents, ask them about how they got into real estate, a little bit about their story. Today we have Coleton Pantley with the NK team. Welcome to the show, Coleton.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Adrian.
So you've been crushing it lately, which I know you're pretty humble in regard to that, but tell us how you got into real estate and a little bit about your background.
Sure. So I actively pushed back against real estate for most of my life.
Okay.
My family's been in development for a lot longer than I've been alive. And basically it was like, okay, whatever they're doing, I want to do the exact opposite.
Sure.
Floundered around for a long time. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. Went to college, kind of shook it out there, decided that I wanted to be a climbing guide. Realized pretty quickly that you can't survive on $17 an hour. So
yeah, like a passion, but it's like not really living yet.
Oh, amazing. Still love it. Still do it as a hobby, but switched over to brokerage via the recommendation of a couple of family friends in 2023. Didn't know about it. Didn't think I was going to, land in sales or anything like that. But since then I haven't looked back. It's been absolutely amazing.
Wow. So you've got obviously a background with your family, but 2023 is really when you just got your actual license and the start.
Wasn't the best market to start in, but I thought it was the right time.
And started so early, obviously being probably a great support network with NK team. Anything about the team that you can kind of touch on or that makes you guys kind of special in that way?
Man, so many things. I think, what it really came down to is in the first 6 months, it was like bothering my boss, Sean McConnell, every single day.
Good.
Trying to understand how everything goes. And, he told me when I joined the team that he would get me up to speed faster than anybody.
Sure.
That was true. Did a deal on my first day. It was my first tour.
Okay.
If I didn't have the team, the support on the logistics side, contracts, Sean telling me exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, I wouldn't have survived. So very grateful for that and just the camaraderie overall.
And I think even beyond that, there's probably some confidence that goes with that when you're talking to a client. It's your first deal. You're like, gosh, you don't know what you don't know, but you've got a team behind you that can kind of help you through that and say this or that, or here's what you do next. That's got to be huge.
100%. Yeah, I was like Ratatouille. Sean was in my chef's hat for the first few months and kind of figured it out.
I love it. I love it. Now, are you an office guy? You go in? Are you out in the field a lot? What's your day look like?
Yeah, so I think if I'm not out in the field, showing listing appointments, something like that, I'm always in the office. For me, I like a little bit of separation of work and home.
Okay.
So I don't really work from home. I like to come in early in the morning, try and outwork everybody. I think that's how you separate yourself early on. So for me, I'm a big office guy. The fluorescent lights are just a motivator for me.
That's what makes you happen. And you get, obviously in North Bend, so you headed to Seattle is where the office is and make that commitment. I think number one, I know, pre the show, you were talking about not doing anything that other than, kind of what you do. But I think number one, just showing up sometimes is half the success. And then having your background, I think, is super important. And congratulations. We know that you're a Rising Star feature in Real Producers. Tell us how that came about.
Yeah, so I actually did a video kind of like this with Sean. He's been telling me for a while, hey, you need to get your face out there. You need to start
let people know
talking
who you
to people.
are.
Yeah, let people know who you are. So I did that. Shay actually DM'd me on Instagram to kind of tell you how out of touch I am with the industry. I was like, hey, I think this is a scam. So I screenshot it. I sent it to Sean. I was like, what's this? He's like, no, it's legit. Like, you should definitely do that. Yeah. So sat down, had an interview with Shay. He is awesome. Super excited about the opportunity. Yeah. Going to do a photo shoot on Wednesday. So looking forward to that.
We're interviewing him today. So he's a good friend of mine. I've known Shay for quite a while. So tell us about, obviously, we're through almost another full year, 2025, into 2026. Is there anything that you're excited about, either you've recently added or any changes you're making to your business for the next year that you're excited about?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think for me, it's kind of, I feel like a lot of people, they start to have some success and they deviate. Yeah. For me, it's like, okay, how can I do the same thing that's worked before, but better? Okay. One thing that I really, really want to do this coming year, again, is number one, to put my face out there a little bit more, talk to people, get to know the industry, but two, just to keep, communication, keep servicing my existing clients. Yeah. I feel like I've made it a point to do that, and I really want to take it a step up. I want to go out and figure out what their interests are, if they want to go skiing or salsa dancing or mushroom foraging, whatever is interesting to them. I want to
whiskey tasting.
Exactly. Oh, that's up my alley. I'd rather do that. Yeah. That sounds great.
That's so good. So you obviously be more ingrained with your network and then growing kind of organically through that referral business. Probably, obviously, I know you guys have a a pillar of your business with kind of lead generation. How's that been going, or what's kind of the lead generation side like?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, our team, I think, was one of the first to do it, and it was an absolutely amazing way to get started.
Yeah.
I still think it's great because it puts you in front of people that you wouldn't otherwise know.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many times I've met a client from, Zillow inbound, and it's like, man, I never would have gotten into contact with you, but now it just opens up this whole another side of a network that I never would have had.
Right.
So it's still great. It's definitely a big part of my business. Nowadays, a lot more referral, some repeat, believe it or not, which I think is a little too quick.
But, hey, people want to buy real estate. Obviously, they're making moves, and they obviously trusted you enough in your first transaction, which is fantastic. And you've obviously fostered that relationship. So is that, obviously this year and next year, I know it's a big focus. Was that something that you just ingrained in you? I mean, have you been pretty good at keeping up with your past clients, or how's that look? Is that with the CRM specifically, or do you just have anything you do in regard to that?
Sure. So I do not have a business model that is organized enough. I think I should use my CRM, but from day one, I was like, okay, how can I separate myself? I don't know as much as anybody else in the industry. I have less experience. I'm brand new to it. And for me, it was like, okay, I just have to go the extra mile.
Yeah.
I want to service my clients, not just up until closing, but literally for the rest of my life. Okay. Like I want clients for life. And I made a big point on that. Now it's like, okay, I have this pretty big book. I need to be a little bit more organized So I actually learned this from another great broker, Bob Benyon, who's also at Compass.
Okay.
He told me he wakes up every morning, he thinks of 4 people that he's going to talk to that day, and he reaches out to them.
Wow.
So that's what I've been doing. It's like, all right, 4 past clients, 4 existing clients, whoever it may be, every morning, give them a call, shoot them a text, see if we can set up a coffee or something.
That is awesome. I mean, just small bites that kind of obviously lead to much, much bigger things.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. So the premise of this show, the Milestone Moment, you may have known I was going to ask you this one. Was there a moment in real estate, and maybe it's still you're in the middle of your moment. Was there a moment that it all changed, or when you knew real estate was kind of for you?
Yeah. So I really was pretty sure about it from day one, but I think if I can put it to one specific moment, it was about a year in. It was actually my first, Sphere referral deal. Everything up until that point has been lead generation. And it was finally, I felt comfortable enough to service someone who's really close to my family.
Okay.
And super nervous about it throughout the whole transaction. I remember handing them the keys on closing day, and they looked at me and they were like, hey, I thought this was going to be a lot harder. Did we do something wrong? And I was like, it was such a horrible transaction. I was on the phone with Rocket Mortgage every single day. I was like, hey, you need to get in on this. You need to get on that. Like the whole thing was just an absolute nightmare deal. And
but it was behind the scenes that you took care of it all.
Exactly. They had no idea. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I love this, because you just get to kind of shield your clients from the pain.
Right.
And I think that's, it's a great value add, and it makes you feel good when you hang your hat up at the end of the day.
And they should have been using Rock in the first place. Well,
there we go. Silly. Yeah, come on.
We'll avoid that in the future, obviously. Yeah. So this next year, I think it's going to be an interesting market. Is there anything that you see in the market for next year that's going to either be kind of beneficial for clients, or anything that you're kind of excited about as far as either, real estate, inventory, anything you can kind of, touch on?
Sure. I mean, I think buyers finally have choice. Mm-hmm. I came in not too long ago, but 2023, 2024, inventory was so suppressed. Yeah. And I feel like finally in these last few months, it's like, okay, if you've got a wide set of criteria, instead of 1 or 2 houses to pick from, you've got 10 or 11. Mm-hmm. It's great for buyers. I think it's really good. They can get discounts, a lot of choice.
Yeah.
They also need to be careful not to get lost in the weeds.
Take that for granted. Like,
looking at too many.
I'm not in a hurry. I have so many choices now. It's almost sometimes we see that, if there's too many, they think something's wrong and they're not in a hurry. And then all of a sudden we're right back to where we were in 2023. And they're like, oh my gosh, why didn't I take advantage of it?
Right. I don't think it's going to last forever. So I think people should jump on it sooner than later.
I love that. And have you done many listings, more buyer focused? What's your business makeup look like?
Yeah, so it started a lot more buyer heavy, and I think it's transitioned lately, kind of almost to a 50-50 split between listings and buyers. And I think starting with buyers is really beneficial because you understand what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped me speak on the listing side with like, this is your buyer pool. This is how we're going to get them in the door. This is how we're going to get it sold.
I love that. Is there anything that you guys do differently marketing wise for your listings? Is that something that you guys touch on?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think right now with listings, everything is a price war and a beauty contest. So being very honest and very upfront about pricing, I think, is incredibly important, and giving sellers the little nudge that sometimes they need to say, hey, we really need professional photos. We need staging. Has to look great. The price has to look great. Otherwise, it's just going to get lost in the shuffle, like I said, with all the opportunity that's out there for buyers right now.
Wow, that's some good advice. And then, and buyer's side, I mean, obviously, I think the advice that you're giving them is don't let too many properties confuse you and think that there's more choices, because that's relatively short-lived, it sounds like.
Totally, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the inventory issue has not fixed itself. We just have some dormant buyers that are on the sidelines. And the moment, we get one more, Fed interest rate change where people think rates are lower, brings out 10% more of buyers, and next thing, there's no more houses.
And we're back in 2023.
Right? We're back to multiple offers, rising, all the things. Exactly. Well, obviously you, I think, will excel in that market because you separate yourself. You obviously have a great team backing you, and I think that you're going to be able to negotiate super effectively. So I'm excited to see how this next year goes for you.
Can't wait. 2025 was awesome. 26 is going to be great.
Thanks for being on the show, Coleton. You've been great.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Appreciate it.
Yeah.